Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Monday, July the 24th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Trading red news with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal. Walmal, the news came out about a minute ago, but I was having some technical difficulties. What's going on?
Well, the news came out, and it's kind of interesting. It's a mixed bag. It's positive for the U.S. and negative for the U.S. Price just it's going up for whatever reason. I don't know why it's actually doing, but it moved pretty quickly. But that little method that we've been talking about, where if the last minute is a down candle, you go long, which is exactly what I did. I went long, and I was able to pick up. Let me go measure it and see what exactly. But I picked up a nice little chunk of change. Picked up 9 pips.
Wow. So your candle before the news was a down candle?
Yes, sir.
Mine was an up candle.
Mine was a down candle by 10 pips.
Wow. On M1?
On M1, yeah, because the minute before the news, it opened at 30, and it closed at 20.2.
Wow.
And then there was a gap up, and I personally got in 23.9. So, and as soon as I saw that thing hit 10 pips, I was like, bing, I'm out of here. I didn't know what it was going to do. I didn't know if it was going to continue going up or it flashed back on it, because that's what it likes to do sometimes, it flash right back.
Right.
And this is not my normal trade. It's not what I normally do, but I figured, hey, let's take a chance here. I made my money for core for the day, so we'll give it a shot and see what happens. So for people who are looking to see what the news was, it was flash manufacturing, PMI on it, and so they were expecting 46.1, and what they did is they got 49 even. And on the flash services, PMI, which is that they expected 54 and they got 52.4. So the services, and what this is a survey of all the purchasing managers for different companies, not all of them, but a good sampling of them. And what they're looking to do is, from the purchasing managers, get an indication of how much more they're paying or how much less they are paying on products when they bring them into their company. And so on the overall flash side, what we're saying is that it increased more than they expected. And on the services side, in other words, all the service industries, food, hotel, restaurants, or anybody that goes and adds any type of service to any product, they actually saw a decrease in what they were actually paying. And so it's kind of a mixed bag. In the old days, you'd say, well, this is great news for the U.S. economy, because in the old days, we had so much manufacturing here in the U.S. That, the services side was probably less than 10% of the economy. Nowadays, services is probably about 50%, maybe even 60%. And so because of that, the services side has got a bigger effect on the actual overall will.
Right. I'm just noticing that the price had gone above the H4 open, right? But then it came back down and it pretty much slammed. It's about 3.5 now. It's almost right back to the open on H4.
Yeah. Yeah, this current hour that we're in was the actual new H4 candle.
Right.
So that would make sense. So, yeah, it crossed over the open. On my chart anyway, it crossed over the open by, crossed over the open by 7.5 pips. But that was a big spike up, and then it just cut right back through it. Last hour, which is where I was able to go and make my core, was that there was a lot of trades. I took an awful lot of trades just going back and forth across the hourly open, because it would run past the hourly open by 4 or 5 pips, and then it would turn right back down, get back down to the open, and then go to the other side by 4 or 5 pips. So I just played that, going across, and back in the old days, you used to talk an awful lot about, line trades, and, which you still do, obviously, but, just hourly line trades. And, that's essentially what I was playing, because I saw a pattern being developed, and I said, okay, we've got a pattern. That's something that's tradable, and it's tradable until it doesn't work anymore. Or as I like to say, it works till it don't.
Right.
And I think, that's part of trading. It's just, we've talked about this in the past, but probably not for a while. But this whole idea that, you got to be aware of what's going on, in the market, and pay attention to what's, when I say in the market, I don't mean, globally, and I don't mean overall. In other words, hey, we got a pivot point that we're going to be going to, or we got a this that we're going to go to, or whatever, which is all very important, especially depending on if you're doing like swing trading and things like that. But if you're scalping like I am, well, what's important to me anyway is recognizing what is the market, what is price doing right now. People may call that price action, but how is price reacting to a certain level? If it's getting to a certain level and keeps on bouncing off of it, then why are you trying to take a breakout trade? If you're getting to a certain point, in the chart, and then it likes to overrun it by 4 or 5 pips, and it's continuing to do that, well, to me, that's opportunity. Let's go and take that and try to make some money. Yeah, I know I'm going to lose a trade. If I trade every one of them, I know I'm going to lose a trade, because eventually it's going to stop happening.
Right.
Okay, what if I can win 3 or 4 times before that happens? So we're sitting here, we just turned the M30 red, and so we'll see, but, the last couple of times it's bounced off of that. But we do have precedence of it getting down to 20. So my opinion is it's going to get back down to the open of where where that news was.
Yeah, but you had a different open. My M30 opened at 26.5.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
We'll sit here and watch and see what it does, and we'll get there. I don't know, but that's the thing,
Yeah, well, the previous H1 low is at the psychological 25. So right now, if you took that crossover, you're up 3 pips.
Yep. And if you put up a H4 chart, I think it's very, very interesting. We've developed a pretty solid shelf right here at this 21 level. If you just look left, it's just sort of like it's just coming down to that 21 level, bouncing off of it, coming back down, bouncing off of it, and so if it breaks it, it's going to probably break it pretty hard. But if it does, but at the same time, right now it's developed a real strong support level on the H4. But you've got to remember, H4 is 4 hours. That's a long period of time, especially when you're scalping. That's
Right.
a long period of time.
Yeah, now what's interesting on H4 is the previous H4 was an inside bar, and the one before that, bar 2, an outside bar.
Yep. So, again, there's opportunity there where it's going to go and break it. Now, when it does it, I don't know when it's going to do it. It's going to do it eventually. But, and don't ask me if it's going to break it to the top or break it to the bottom. But it's going to break it. Right now, I'd say that it's got a chance of breaking it to the bottom. It keeps on testing it, keeps on testing it, keeps on testing it. And even though we built up a support lines are, I like to go and say the support lines are there until they get broken. Because as the old timers would say, support turns into what? Resistance.
Let's see what happens here. Because my support or bottom was right around 15. So.
Okay.
We've got 6 red M1s in a row, 2 M5s in a row, 1 M15, but 4 H4s, so, and 7 dailies in a row.
Yeah. And this being a Monday, it's just setting up what the week's going to be like. And the range for today, just so folks know, it's actually 77 pips at this point in time, as of this recording, which is about the 45th percentile. So, you know, there's room for this to grow. Certainly room for it to grow. However, you know, we've seen a lot of 75 to 85 pip days.
Right. And we're definitely in the rat zone. 14 pips off the bottom, now 12. Wow.
Yep. And with all those, you know, looking at the M1 with all those black candles in a row, again, it's sort of like this would be a good place to get in. I'm not saying this thing's going to go back to equilibrium yet, but opportunity for maybe it to go up and maybe grab 4 or 5 pips off of it. Then it'll return back down here. That would be my guess anyway.
Now, on the M1 chart, we've got a new 3 ball at the bottom of the, or at the previous M1 low. So that's at 28,187 on my charts. And indicator 2 is turning right here.
I don't know if you heard me or not, but I went long. We'll see what happens. Fortunately, the video will probably end before I get out of this trade, but
yeah, we got about, what, 3.5 minutes left.
I got it in at 21.8, so this is not looking good. We'll see. I'm underwater by about a pip, so not the end of the world.
There you go. It's coming back your way.
Yep.
Got a 1 ball.
There we go. Oh, okay, out with 2 pips. And, you know, that's what you do all day long.
So,
get boring.
Yeah, when you took that trade, was that a flip-flop box or what?
It wasn't a flip-flop box yet, but it looked like it was going to close with a flip-flop box. So I jumped in a little bit early because of that. So I jumped in probably 10, 15 seconds before that white candle closed. So I jumped in early, which usually is not a good idea to do that. But the reason why I did it was because I was thinking that this thing was going to take off on the next candle. I was wrong about that. It actually went against me instead. But
it took off just against you.
Yeah, it took off in the wrong direction. Exactly. But luckily, because I jumped in early, the good thing about jumping in early there was that I got into it at a much better price. Now, of course, I wish it would have stayed because I would have been up like 6 pips.
Oh, look at that.
That's trading. Yeah, that's trading for you, you know. And now we've been up like 8, 9 pips.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And you know something? The fastest 15 minutes in trading, it's over. So, fellow traders, hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you picked up a tip or 2. Let us know, especially if you have any questions. And when you're trading, always remember, never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.